Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Cheryl Milder Unfiltered Real Talk YouTube channel. So, I want to talk about parenting, discipline, values, morals, respect. I notice these days people don't have those things. They really don't. And at the end of the day, it really comes from parenting your kid. And these days, in my opinion, I feel like parents don't want to be bothered parenting their child, giving them rules and discipline and giving them structure and value. Because when you instill that in a child, they know what to do in the real world. We as parents give our child the tools, the values, the confidence, for prepare them out in the real world, especially how to respect other people and be kind to other people. And I'm not saying parenting is not easy. It's a tough job. It's a tough job with two parents, let alone if you're a single parent. It's really tough. It's really tough. With that being said, if you have God in your household, God in the center of your marriage and your family, you can sustain anything. It's just having good moral values in the household. That's super important. And the reason why I'm talking about this is like, how do adults don't know how to act. They don't know how to behave. They give outbursts and throw tantrums when they don't get their way, like toddlers, and they're just rude and nasty, to other people. And then I just start to think, how do your parents raise you? I know your parents didn't raise you that way to talk to another human being like that with, condescending remarks and being disrespectful and try to get your way because trying to get your way because things are not going according to what you feel like or your standards. And I just like, it just fathoms me that, people can act like that and think that it's okay. And it's not okay. Growing up with my parents, me and my sisters, my parents were tough. They were really tough raising me and my sisters. And they instill a lot of values in me and my sisters. How to cook, how to clean, how to respect our elders, please and thank you, all these things. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful and thankful that, my parents instilled that in me because it made me become a better person, to be kinder to other people and to be respectful. With that being said, do everyone have their moments? Sure, we're all human. Do I, get annoyed or get frustrated? Absolutely. Who doesn't? You know what I mean? At the same token, you have to respect one another. We have to love one another. Just like in the Bible says, we have to love our neighbors and respect each other. And I'm just so grateful for that my, parents instilled that in me, you know what I mean? To be kind, have rules and discipline. When you don't instill that in your children, they feel like they can do whatever they want. Like whatever they do, it's like, it's okay without dealing with any consequences of their actions. Growing up, if I get in trouble, there's consequences in my action. I'm going to be punished. And some parents, they just give their kids a slap on the wrist. Okay, it's fine. No, that's not how it works. And I'm not trying to, tell people how to parent your kid. Whatever you do in your household, that's your business, and that's how whatever you do, that's on you. But what I'm saying is, growing up, what my parents instill in me, like values and respect, and doing household chores and stuff like that, as an adult, it's still in me. You know what I mean? And I think my mom for that, you know what I mean? And also my grandmother, you know what I mean? I love my grandmother to pieces. May she rest in peace. She passed away several years ago. But it was because of my mom and my grandmother instilled that in me, you know what I mean? To wash the dishes, sweep the floor, mop the floor, do laundry, make my bed. Until this day, I make my bed every morning before I leave for work or anything. I can't leave my bed unattended and not being made. And that's what I was taught as a young child. And just having structure and rules and knowing from right and wrong, you know what I mean? And that's what they instilled in me and my sisters. And now these days, these kids, they're just running around, feel like they're privileged, no discipline. And I can't even blame the kids. I blame the parents, because it's the parents' job to instill those values to your children. So when they're an adult, they know from right and wrong. They know what to do in the real world. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like some parents are just lazy. They don't feel bothered. They don't want to do it. And it's like, it's not their job, especially if you are married and then you have a kid from a previous relationship, and then the husband expects the wife to take care of everything. No, it's both of you. You know what I mean? It's both of you. And I give you a perfect example. I'm not gonna say any names. One of my good friends, she's married, and her husband has a son from a previous marriage, and he expects her to do everything for his son. And I'm like, and then I asked her, what do you mean? Oh, I give him a bath, I put him to bed, I change him, I do this, and I do that. I'm like, well, what is he doing? Oh, he's on the couch watching TV, on his phone. And I'm like, he's the father. You're the stepmom. Yes, it's good to do all those things as a stepmother, but as a father, it's his job, to give his son a bath. It's his job to, put pajamas on his clothe his son before he goes to bed. It's his job to read a bedtime story for his son. Like, in my opinion, I just feel like her husband was just dumping all the responsibility to her, like she's the one who gave birth to the boy, when actually it's his son that he should be taking care of. And I don't feel like that's right. And he doesn't discipline his son. His son just, acts all wild and feels like he's privileged, and that's the problem. If you don't instill those values and those rules to your kid, when they're out there in the real world, they're gonna feel like they're privileged. They feel like when you say no, it means yes. You know what I mean? Like, no is not an option for them. Like, I never heard of that. No, I always got everything that I want. It's because of the household. That's why it's super important that you have to have God in your household. It's super important to pray. It's super important to read the Bible and have those values. And I'm so grateful that I did have those values growing up, that when I become a mother, then I'm going to instill that in my children so they can have that. Because it's super important, because I want my children to know from right and wrong. I want to instill good values for my children so they can look back and say, you know what, even though my mother was tough, but I remember she instilled those qualities, those values that I can apply in when I'm on my own. And I'm just so blessed and grateful for my mother, my grandmother, and my dad as well, because without them instilling those good values and telling me and showing me to respect others, I don't know where I would be. And having God in my life as well, I don't know where I would be. And I just foremost thank God for that I have like parents, who raised me and my sisters good. Don't get me wrong, my parents were tough, they were very strict, and I had a lot of restrictions. There's things that I couldn't do as a kid. But now that I'm an adult, looking back, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the values and that they instill in me. I really am. And I just feel like these days now, parents don't really care. They can just care less. I feel like parents want to be more of a friend to their kids instead of a parent. And that is a big no-no. That's a big mistake. When you have children, they're not your friends, your children. You're the parent. You set the laws, you set the rules in your household. That is it. And if they don't like it, they go get a timeout. Point blank, period. I say this to one of my best friends, you're the boss, not your kid. If your kid acts up and has a tantrum, then he or she needs a timeout. Need a timeout. Your kid do not dictate to you how you should raise them. It's the other way around. And I see that all the time. And for me, I have zero tolerance for that, because my child will not dictate to me how things are going to run in the house. No, we're going to have God, number one, for sure. And then number two, I'm the parent. I'm the parent of the household. So what I say goes. And I'm not looking to be friends with my child. And that's when everything hits the fan, because then they're your best friends and stuff like that. And then they feel comfortable, and then you don't give them rules. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest mistake a parent can do, being a friend to your kid. No. Now, when they're an adult, okay, that's fine. But as a child, it's a big mistake, in my opinion. You cannot be friends with your child. You are the parent, you're their adult, they need structure. They don't need friends. They have friends with their cousins, their playmates at school. They need parents to guide them, to instruct them what they should act, how to behave, and how to become a human being. So when they're an adult, they know how to behave in the real world. And I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. And I just want you to comment. Let me know if you relate to what I say about, parenting. And please comment, share, like, and thank you so much for listening to Cheryl Milder Unfiltered Real Talk. And I will talk to you guys soon. God bless and love you all. Bye.